Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Does POV Reviews. Today we got a 2020 Toyota Fortuner Crusade. We're gonna go ahead and walk through around the car of the exterior first. We're gonna have a look at the interior and boot space, and then we're gonna go for a little drive and show you how the car drives and behaves on the road. First of all, let's go ahead and start with the front. The 2020 introduced a new design for the Fortuners that's continuing until 2023. 2019 was a different design language. So this is not the brand new one, but a facelifted version of the 2019. So you got LED lights, high beam and low beam, as well as fog lights, and then the turn signals are all the way down here. You got your pretty big Toyota badge here. This comes with the radar cruise control that's embedded into the emblem, with the blacked out grille and some chrome accents on the sides. This is fake grille over here with parking sensors, front parking sensors. On the Crusade you got 18-inch wheels. On the lower versions you'll come with 17-inch wheels. You got LED turn signals as well for the side mirror. You got a step over here to make it easier for you to get into the car. Keyless entry. With that, it doesn't have the sensor, which was pretty interesting to me because Toyota does have that technology, but you have to press a button for it to unlock and lock. The black surrounds keep going around the wheel arches. For both of them, you got chrome around the windows. You got the floating roof design where they black out this last corner panel to have that floating roof design. The back is also very nice. The front lift, the facelift ones, they did introduce new lights for the back and the front, full LED for the back as well, and that also includes the turn signals. As you can see, this is the key for the Fortuner. So you got the Fortuner badging over here with the Toyota badge, and the Crusade, which is the model and the spec. In terms of boot, it is an automatic boot with rear camera. In terms of the boot space itself, you got 200 liters with all seats up. This is a 7-seater SUV with 2, 3, and then 2 people. If you fold them down, you'll get 716 liters, and then if you fold all 3 rows down, it will be over 1,000 liters of space. I'm gonna show you what the boot space looks like with this 3rd row seats down. All right, here we go. This is 716 liters of space. Unfortunately, I can't fold down the 2nd row seats because we got a baby seat over there. Pretty good space. You got the same sort of Land Cruiser design for folding the 3rd row seats, where they do fold to the side, and there's no locking in mechanism. It latches on with these 2 hanging points. In terms of actual boot space, is actually pretty good. As I said, you can fold that, you can go down there, but this does go down, so there's a slight dip over here at the very end. You got your subwoofer for the JBL sound system as well, and here's a button to close the tailgate. All right, we're gonna have a look at the back seats now of the 2020 Fortuner. Leather trim on the Crusade, very soft. It's very nice. You got soft materials over here as well. You got automatic windows for all 4 doors, as well as the chrome handle for over here, and you got your speaker. The door does not open too much. It's not a wide opening. You got your wheel arch over here. It does eat into the space. And another thing, there's no handle for you to put your hands on, or when you're trying to put yourself up, so it's, to be honest, not the most comfortable thing to get into. The doors sound pretty good when you are closing them. Very solid. LED lights for the interior as well. You got your 3rd row, or the climate control for back here. You can change the fan speed. Again, you can't change the temperature. You got 1,100 watt plug over here, as you can see, so you can put in any household accessories or anything like that. You got a 12-volt socket over here as well. Some storage compartment over here. This is my ideal seating position. You got some hanging points over here for the passenger seat and the driver's seat. You got some mat style sort of door storage area in front of you. In terms of the way it is, it's not the biggest cabin, but it's also not so wide. It's not as wide as a Land Cruiser, for example. So this is a bit the body is a lot more thinner from the inside. You got your air vents here. Headroom is pretty good. Cool design here where they sort of dip it in or make it a bit deeper for you to put your head for these sides. Sitting in the middle though, my head does scratch on the roof, but on the side it's okay. It passes with only about 3 or 4 fingers of space. Otherwise it's all good. The footroom is all right. You got some good footroom actually at the bottom here. Knee room is good. This seat is reclined quite back, so this is my ideal driving position. As I said, as you can see, there's a lot more space. Easy to put in a child seat as well, not the hardest thing. You got cup holders that fold in and out, so that's pretty good. The leather cloth continues back here and it's nice and soft for your elbow to rest on it. Otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. It's just not the biggest car. As I said, third row, I'm not even gonna try and get in there. It's just no way, you know. It's made for children rather than adults, especially for this segment. It's a 7-seater car, so you could put 7 people in. I just think it would be quite hard to put 3 adults on the second row itself. So maybe 2 adults and 1 kid should be fine, and 2 kids at the back. That's not a problem at all. 4 ISOFIX for the back and the 2 outer seats for the second row and the third row. So heaps of places to put your baby seats in. All right, let's get into the front of the Fortuner and show you guys the interior. As I said, keyless entry. Here it is. It is a little bit wider on the front, so you can get in a lot easier. You got a handle over here, which is missing at the back. I reckon that would help a lot. Same sort of style for the doors as well. You got leather that continues up here. You got sort of hard plastic up here, which is quite disappointing for this price range. It's not a cheap car. Here's your window controls. The same thing for the door handle, chrome finish with the speaker and bottle holder for the side. You got electric seats over here. Same leather trim. This car for the front are heated for the driver and the passenger. Getting in, as I said, is quite easy with the step and with the handle. So Fortuner comes with a start-stop system on the Crusade. So foot on the brake pedal and just press the button and it should start up straight away. The Fortuner. So you got a leather-wrapped steering wheel with some fake wood up here. You got some chrome accents, which is plastic again. It feels quite cheap here. The steering is quite hard, so it's going to be quite painful for you when you're driving around for long hours. You got pedal shifters behind. Same thing, plastic feel is not the best quality. In terms of the design itself, it looks good. You got your media controls over here on the left side. You know, volume up, volume down, changing tracks, mode or mute if you hold it. You got your Bluetooth, or you accept and decline calls. On the right side, you got your controls for your 4.2-inch colored multi information screen for the driver. So it's not really big. It's fine. It shows you some information about the car. You know, you got your driving range. You got a trip computer, which is doing 10.4 liters this car. So it's doing more interior. It's doing more city driving and in-town use rather than highway. You got your speedometer. It's very easy and normal, sort of very user-friendly, easy to control, nothing too difficult to understand. You got your radar cruise control. This is how you change your distance with the radar, which will show you on the road, and this is the lane keeping assistance, which I really don't like, and I'll tell you about the reasons on the road. And then if you move to the left side over here, you got your 8-inch multimedia infotainment system with the JBL sound system for this car. JBL sound system is good. It's got good bass, but it's clear, but it's just not really really impressive. It's just fine in my opinion. You got your climate controls over here. No dual temperature for the passenger and the driver, which is, I think it's missing. New cars, most new cars have it. You have your hill descent control for your off-road controls. You got your heated seats for the front 2 seats, the passenger and the driver, which is demonstrated by left and right. And then you got your cup holders over here, which can be hidden away. You also got cup holders here, just like the Hilux. This car is based on the Hilux, so you got a couple things that might look like it. You got your drive modes here. You got eco, normal, and sport, your diff lock, and your traction off. So this got a rear diff lock, and so this should be pretty good off-road. You got your off-road mode here for your 2 high, and then if you put it to neutral, you can change it to 4 high and then 4 low as well, which will be shown over here. 4 low and 4 high shouldn't be used on sealed surfaces, only for off-roading purposes. So back to 2 high. Otherwise, the interior is pretty good. You got pretty nice design for the dashboard and for everything else. I like the wood finish over here. It gives it a little bit of an uplift, classy look. You got leather here, which is good, so if you don't hit your knee and hurt it while you're driving. You got more controls over here. You got your idle up for the diesel engine, your parking sensors, and this is the switch to open your boot, and then you can also close it from here as well. Otherwise, it's pretty good. I'm really happy with it. It looks good. The touch up here, again, it's just hard plastic, which I don't understand why. You got some leather only for the front part over here. You got your speakers, which is just, it looks like it's just been put in. Yeah, but otherwise, I'm really happy with the design. It looks good, feels good, except these parts over here, which feel pretty cheap. But where else, when you're touching here, it's nice and soft. This is your center storage compartment. Not the biggest, but it does the job. So that's it for the interior. Let's head on to the road and see how the car drives. All right, guys, driving the Fortuna, I'm really impressed by it, to be honest. It does drive like a 4-wheel drive though. This being a based on the chassis of the Hilux, you can feel like it drives like a ute. The suspension is quite firm, so it does bounce about the place quite a bit when it does hit a bump, or if it's a uneven surface. But it's not too rough, it's not too uncomfortable, but it's just a little bouncy, and you can feel it while you're driving it. Another thing is the engine. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the torque. It's very, very torquey. 500 Newton meters of torque is pretty good. It's not powerful, only 150 kilowatts of power, so it's not fast. It doesn't deliver the power fast, but it's nice and torquey to the point that you don't have to hustle the engine. The only complaint is it is quite loud in here. With the engine, you can hear the engine sound quite a bit, and it vibrates the car. There's a lot of vibration to the interior from the engine. Yeah, so it's not very refined in terms of the noise and the shakes, so it does give you a lot of vibration. But it's quite loud. That's one complaint I have about it, and especially vibrations. You know, when you brake at a stop sign or stoplight, you can feel the car, especially in the steering wheel. But otherwise, it's pretty good. As you can see, you don't have to hustle it to be with the traffic, to move with the traffic, so that's all right. We're gonna go on the freeway now and have a look at the driving assistance. So this is another complaint about the lane keeping assistance, which is called lane keeping, but if it was for me, if it was my car, I would have turned it off straight away, to be honest. I'm gonna demonstrate that for you in a second. Well, we're stopped at this traffic light. I'll show you guys the visibility of the car. The dash is quite high up, so the front visibility is not the best. It's a long bonnet. It's sort of easy to drive. You're gonna have to get used to it, but the dash is quite high up. The door mirrors are okay. They're all right size. I would have thought they would have been bigger for the size of the car. It's a pretty big car from the outside. The rear visibility is pretty good. Flat windscreen. The rear visibility is pretty good as well. You got auto dimming for the mirror. Gonna go ahead and hop on the freeway now, and hopefully it's not too busy so I can demonstrate for you guys the driving assistance. In terms of getting up to speed, is pretty good. I mean, as I said, that torque is there. Transmission, it's a 8-speed. Okay guys, showing you a quick acceleration now, putting it into sport mode. It's not too bad. It's not fast, but it's definitely not too bad. Alright, so activating cruise control is pretty easy. Normal Toyota stock as well. So press this, it tells you radar cruise control is ready. You can just press this down to set the speed limit. This has a speed recognition, so speed sign recognition, so it can read it through the cameras that are mounted up here. So it tells you that the speed limit here is 110. You've set it at 93. You can lift it this way, so you can put this torque up to get to that 110 speed limit. You can change the distance between you and the front car using this button over here. So as you can see, the car is speeding up to catch up with the car that's in front. In terms of the lane keeping assistance, I'll show you guys in a second. So if you go to the left, it just brakes and then turns the car to the right as well. I feel like what the car is doing, it's braking the two outer wheels to let the car move to the right a little bit. I don't feel like it's moving the steering in particular. Yeah, it's really just braking, and it's very inconsistent. It is, and I don't feel it's very safe. Personally, I would have it off all the time, but for demonstration purposes, I'll leave it on. The steering itself, it's not too bad. Well, let's go ahead and pass this car over here. The steering itself is not too bad. It's not too light. It's light enough in lower speeds. At higher speed like now, it's nice and it's tight, so you don't have to oversteer a lot and correct your steering a lot. You can set it back to the cruise control. Now here you go, that car is slowing down in front of us. It should detect it and slow us down. Yeah, the cruise control itself, it's very good, it's very consistent. It's not uncomfortable, it doesn't brake too hard, it doesn't accelerate too hard, but it's pretty good. Yeah, the only complaint is the lane keeping assistance. It's just absolutely terrible in my opinion, and I would have it off all the time. It's just very inconsistent. It's not safe. It's not reading the lines very well. I've seen that it guesses where the lines are, and sometimes any little strip on the road, it might think that that's a lane and it's gonna brake and try and steer you to the right. I don't really like it at all. In terms of ambient noise, NVH inside the car, other than the engine, right now is sitting pretty low in RPM, so it's nice and quiet. It's only when you do accelerate you can hear that right there. Wind noise, pretty good. Tire noise is not too bad. This surface of the road is pretty good. We'll change now to a rougher sort of surface. As you can see here, it's a little bit more tire noise as well, but it's nothing too bad. It's not bad at all. So the insulation is pretty good. Other than the engine, it's quite loud. Another thing I wanted to talk about, this car has pedal shifters, which is pretty funny. You can put it into sequential mode. It's quiet. You can see it's very lazy, it's very slow in terms of the responsiveness of the pedal shifts. It's nothing to write home about, to be honest, but I guess you could use it for when you are towing. It's going to be a lot safer to keep your hands on the wheel and change gears at the same time. Yeah, but not made for sport driving or anything like that. Maybe you could only use it for braking. The brake feel is very progressive. It is a little bit firm at the start, that you're gonna feel until you get used to it, until You do get used to it, and it's pretty good. It's nothing too bad. It's quite progressive. It's easy for you to drive it comfortably. All right, in terms of gas pedal feel, or the accelerator feel, it's not bad at all as well. It's easy for you to drive it normally. It's pretty good. I'm really happy with it. In terms of the way it drives, the only complaint would be the lane keeping assistance, which is just absolutely terrible. It's not up to standards in today's era. You've got way better lane keeping assistance, like the Palisade that we showed you guys not long ago. We're gonna have to go ahead and try a Hilux so we can see a comparison between the Fortuna and Hilux. Do they really drive the same? We'll see.